Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here. So, LEC playoffs coming up this weekend. It starts on Friday. I'm super excited. I assume you guys are super excited too. I hope that you guys are super excited. And I think these LEC playoffs are going to be really, really fun. Honestly, I might even be more excited for the LEC playoffs than the LCS playoffs. Because there's so much uncertainty. There's so many storylines. There's so many rivalries. You have the G2 players all over the place on different teams, and that's just like going to be super fun to watch them go up against each other. You have Perkz on Vitality. You have Perkz versus Caps. You have Vitality as the 6th seed. Maybe they're going to make a lower bracket run. You have Rogue. Are they overrated and going to choke again? You have Fnatic. Are they the best team? You have Video trying to lead Misfits. Is G2 for real this year? There's so many questions, and I have no idea which team's going to be good, which team's going to suck. I have no idea who the best team is. I have no idea who the worst team of the 6 in the playoffs is. And there's just going to be a ton of trash talks, a ton of fun. It's going to be great, and I think the games are going to be great as well. And we're going to start off with a little bit of that trash talk today, coming from Perkz, who is obviously no stranger to that. So definitely drop a like if you guys do enjoy this video. I would appreciate that a ton. And subscribe to stay up to date on all of our latest content. Help us run those numbers up a little bit. That would be awesome. Like I said, playoffs. Going to be a ton to talk about. Going to be a ton of videos. You guys don't want to miss out. But with that being said, let's get right into this. We have this from Perkz. This is a couple days ago now. I've kind of been sitting on this waiting for a time where I, was finally able to talk about this. There's been a lot going on. Sometimes you want to make a video and other stuff pops up and it kind of leapfrogs it. And you gotta keep some stuff in your bag to be able to pull out when the time comes. And we have this clip from Perkz. Perkz, thoughts on Fnatic. This is from his stream. Apparently his Twitch is still C9 Perkz, which is funny. But let's see what Perkz has to say about Fnatic.
Teams, objectively, just speaking, and I think that Fnatic is overrated. Personally, I don't think Fnatic is good at all. As well. I mean, I don't know. They've been actually just inting scrims for 2 months now. So if they actually win the split, okay, if Fnatic actually wins this split, I will actually just confirm that scrims are useless. If they actually manage to win this split, I will confirm that scrims are useless. I refuse to believe that they will win the split. I literally refuse to believe. They are for sure a completely different team in scrims and in stage. For sure, but it's just disgusting that if they actually manage to win it. If Fnatic manages to win this split, then I think EU is at the worst it's ever been. Straight, okay.
There's a lot to break down there. There's a lot to get into. He says, first of all, that Fnatic has just been straight up inting scrims over the last couple of months, which is kind of interesting because I think on paper, everyone really expected Fnatic to be a very, very talented team, and hey, they finished with the second best record in the LEC. I know I have the LEC standings here. They went 13-5. I think that's maybe a little bit worse than a lot of people expected. I think people thought that especially Razork would be a little bit more dominant, but overall, things went really, really well for Fnatic. They probably have the best They have the best bot lane in the LEC. I really do still think it's one of the better bot lanes in the world. I think Upset and Hillsang is an absolute world-class bot lane. Wonder does a lot of things right that this team needs. Humanoid, he can be coin flipped sometimes, but all in all, he's pretty good. And just, as a whole, Razork just kind of underperformed. But still, Fnatic went 13-5. They finished just one game behind Rogue, who also had an amazing regular season, but also no one remembers the regular seasons. Whatever happens in the playoffs is going to erase everything. And I guess that helps and hurt Perkz' point because, Perkz is saying, hey, he doesn't really think they're that good. He's not impressed by their regular season. We'll have to see in playoffs. And he's just projecting them to be not very good in playoffs. And maybe he'll be right, maybe not. We'll see. But also at the same time, the obvious criticism is, how is Perkz the guy saying this? He's coming off not that great of an LEC regular season himself, obviously. Vitality as a team, not coming off that great of a regular season. This is a guy, he just went 9-9 in the LEC regular season and barely made the playoffs. I mean, there was literally a world where Vitality is already eliminated for the season, is not even in the playoffs. And so many people are saying, how are you talking about Fnatic right now? You got to beat Excel first, man. You got to even like get to the point where you could possibly play Fnatic. And it's just super, super weird. It's super funny. Now, obviously in his clips, nowhere did he say Vitality is good or Vitality's better than Fnatic or anything like that. You know, maybe he thinks G2's going to win. Maybe he thinks Rogue's going to win. I don't necessarily know, but it is just really, really funny hearing some of these things come from Perkz. And obviously, I think it's interesting that he also says if Fnatic wins and this is the worst that Europe has ever been, which I think is also very controversial because this Fnatic team is talented. They have good players. Also, I've never been one, and obviously, like, what is my opinion? You know, so I'm not like a pro player or anything, but like to me, I think scrims are taken so strangely in esports. You know, somebody coming from a traditional sports background, I can't even imagine people talking about practice and scrims in professional sports the way they do in esports. Like, it's literally practice. It's where you're trying to get better. It's a no-stakes match where you should be going into it trying to work on things. And like, yes, you're not trying to lose. You're not trying to do bad things that are going to actively lose you scrims and stuff. And especially as like competitors in competition, like, you know, going into practice or scrims, whatever in sports, you want to win just because you want to win. You don't want to lose. But like, I can't imagine, like, in professional soccer, professional basketball or whatever, like, the analyst talking about, like, oh, I heard they beat them in practice this week. Like, nobody cares, and that doesn't matter. You're literally practicing. You're trying to improve. You're working on your weaknesses. You're maybe even highlighting your weaknesses or doing things that you're not as good at intentionally to get better at them. And I don't think that's a bad thing. And I think Fnatic, you know, whatever, they've been running down scrims. Well, they still went 13-5 in the regular season. If they were so bad, you would probably be beating them on stage, right? And like scrims inherently have no, you know, there's nothing on the line. So certain players aren't going to take that as seriously or aren't going to, you know, do certain plays or go for certain plays. You're not going to try certain drafts. You're not going to do certain things. And certain players step up when the stage gets bigger, when the stage gets brighter, or when there's fans, or when you're in the studio, or when the games actually matter. And I think a guy like Perkz would understand that. You know, this is a guy who's been known for stepping up in big games, stepping up in the playoffs, sandbagging some games and trying harder in other games. Like, you're going to tell me he's like the biggest scrims grinder in the world? I don't know. I like the trash talk. I'm always a big fan of that from Perkz. He always knows how to make things spicy. He always knows how to make things interesting. But I think this is just kind of weird and kind of random coming from him. But hey, I'm still here for it. We did have Fnatic Upset kind of responding. He said, there isn't a single team in EU that's playing even close to how they play in scrims compared to Sage. Getting a similar experience to competitive games is close to a myth in Europe for years. And then, you know, just kind of this whole, like, everyone starts responding to this. I don't know, it's a super, super popular tweet, 7,300 likes. And, you know, Upset kind of saying the same things I'm saying, that, like, hey, scrims don't matter. Like, it's not a good representation of what's going on at all. But the good thing about this, and it's also weird because, yeah, like scrims compared to stage games, how do you weigh the two? Like, what matters, what doesn't? But then also, best of ones to best of fives, we've seen time and time again that being good in best of ones or being good in the regular season doesn't necessarily translate or equate to being good in best of fives or being good in the playoffs. So then, you know, you have scrims versus best of ones versus playoffs and best of fives and all that stuff. And hey, this is why you play the games. It's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be exciting. Like I said, before Vitality and Perkz can even think about Fnatic, they've got a long road ahead of them. They are in the losers bracket. They are one series away from being eliminated when they're supposed to be, you know, the super team of the West or whatever. And Fnatic's in a good spot. Fnatic, I think, is facing off against G2, a series that they'll probably be significantly favored going into that. And they're probably still the favorites to win the whole playoff. So we're going to see how well Perkz' take ages. And then I guess, you know, he's always got his trap card of like, well, Fnatic won, that's just because Europe sucks now. Like, okay, well, whatever. You know, we'll have to wait and see. But hey, it's funny. The trash talk's already starting. We're getting hyped up, excited, ramping up for these games. It's going to be a fun LEC playoffs, and I can't wait. But that is pretty much it for this video today, guys. Definitely drop a like if you did enjoy it. I would appreciate that so much. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about all this. Do you think Perkz is, you know, right? Do you think he's just wilding out? I don't even know. Let me know your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe, stay up to date on all my latest content. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.